You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to another freaking unbelievable. I tried to come on instantly, and I got some freaking Twitch. You got connection issues with Twitch. What else is new?
I
There's
thought you
always
just
Twitch.
Twitch.
I got a Twitch. It's that type of year. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another edition of Keys to the City. I'm your host, Trevor Keys, alongside the big brother T3 Ted Keys. You can check out Keys to the City on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. So check us out. Ted, this is that time of year again. I know it's March 7th, and people are like, oh, it's just March 7th. It's a Tuesday.
March Madness, baby.
But it is March Madness for all reasons, in basketball, in baseball, and definitely in football. You know, we've seen the past 72 hours. There has been so much energy, so much uncertainty, so much, well, to be honest, excitement, what's been going on in the NFL world, to be honest. And let me just say one quick thing before. This is a great time because we just had the combine, and it's awesome because you get to see these talents, but also it's funny because every year we have people that go batshit crazy because of people that are wearing t-shirts and shorts and think that these guys are amazing. Haven't we learned from the past, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, of guys that, yes, Zach Wilson, he had a phenomenal pro day. He was amazing, throwing 60-yard bombs, going all over the place across the field. How's that turned out? So let's just wait and see what these players can do and how their game translates and transitions into the NFL. But then you got also today, this is a huge day for us Giant fans, because what are the New York Giants going to do with just about an hour and a half left until the franchise tag deadline is underway? And the Giants have some uncertain questions to figure out. Who's going to be their quarterback? Is it going to be Daniel Jones? Is it going to be under franchise tag terms, or is he going to be the guy for long term? And Saquon Barkley. But Ted, you just see, what do you think the past 72 hours for you has been like as a sports fan, as just a football fan as well, when you see what's been going on with the combine, what you see with all the rumors, and then yesterday, I think yesterday was a huge day and a huge telling sign for the New York Giants as well.
Of course, you can't see nothing.
Oh yeah, Jets are official. Yeah, I mean
that was 3 minutes ago. Listen, that gets me excited.
That gets you excited. Aaron Rodgers.
Donovan Smith got released from the Bucs, but we kind of knew.
That's great.
Yeah, listen,
Aaron Rodgers. That's like you just see what's going on in the past 72 hours, Ted, and with the combine, and now with yesterday with the two of the quarterbacks that were on the market. And yes, Geno Smith was on the market at one point, but he is now officially signed. Derek Carr has a new home, going to New Orleans to play for Who Dat Nation in the NFC. And let's just give the Saints, I guess, the lead in the NFC South, because that division looks like that could be a wrap. But Ted, what do you see? What's going on with the combine? Honestly, just give me your honest takeaways. Like what you've been seeing with this free agency class that's going to happen and what's going to happen in the next hour and a half, and then the NFL Combine. The floor is yours.
Okay, so the Combine stuff, listen, you say it right. I mean, listen, we get excited for a guy throwing.
They go crazy. That's why I call it.
Listen, what you want to see is, for some of the guys, you want to see that what you see on the field correlates to what you see on the combine and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
We kind of knew Anthony Richardson was going to blow the combine out of the water, at least from everything. Listen, I'm a Florida Gator fan, so I saw him play. He ran a 4.4, which was actually as fast as Bijan Robinson ran from Texas, who's electrifying running back. But here's the thing: I think the guys that you expected to do well did well. Anthony Richardson tested great. Mm-hmm. C.J. Stroud probably had the best weekend of all the quarterbacks, with what quarterbacks need to do throwing the ball. But we knew that from watching him at Ohio State. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've seen in the last couple of years. And until that Georgia game, you didn't realize how athletic he was until that last game. Almost kind of like the Justin Herbert thing when you saw him finally in the Rose Bowl. You're like, oh, wait, Justin Herbert can run around like that? You really didn't get to see him as well. We always knew Bryce Young was a great quarterback. Yes, he played for Alabama. I think he'll have a great pro day. He'll do everything that he needs to do. The things that he needed to do was be 205 pounds. He probably had about 12 milkshakes before the thing. But, he's probably our size, bro. Like, I'm 5'9", so he's an inch taller than me, and I'm like 195, 180, so he's about the size of me.
Are you sure you're 195?
Yeah. Shoes on, it was 200.
Your shoes make you 5 pounds heavier? Damn,
Whoa.
you're a fat bastard, bro. You better start.
Well, I don't know.
You better stop wearing shoes then. Just go out barefoot.
Bro, shoes are heavy.
Yo, I used to
go weigh yourself with shoes on. Go weigh yourself with regular shoes on. What do you think you weigh when you have
tip? Do that right now.
Yeah, see you later. Come back. I'll let you know how it goes in the show. Listen, at the end of the day, the combine is just fun. You know what was funny? I couldn't believe they sold tickets. There was 10,000 people that actually went to go watch guys run around.
Do you want to know my honest takeaway about the combine every year?
I like the combine because listen, let's not be foolish. We both watched it. Not as much as some people. I'm not paying.
I watch.
I would never pay for a ticket to go watch a guy run and throw the football. But
I'm open.
It's cool to see the 40-yard dash. You see who can run really fast. Yeah, I always like the bench press. See who's strong. But I think it's more like you just want to see. I think you want to see the top prospects of what you expect to see. Just show out.
That's
right.
You
want to see guys like Bijan Robinson. You want to see guys like Quentin.
But that's what I'm going to stop you right there with. I want to stop you right there with. Yes, we know what these guys can do with a shirt and T-shirt. It's fine. We've seen the talent on the field, on the tape. For me, the bigger thing for the combine is who you are as a person. What's your character like? Especially these quarterbacks. Because these teams are going to invest a lot of money in you.
Yeah,
and trying to say, hey, you're going to be our guy that's going to hopefully lead us into the promised land.
Yeah, but here's the thing. These guys are trained for that.
Hold on. That's why the tape speaks for it. I don't need to go watch a combine or a pro day to be like, that guy's a good player. No, just watch the tape. But I want to know who you are as a football player, as a man, and as a person too. How are you dealing with situations? Because, character is just as important in today's NFL to be successful. Yes, the talent has to correlate to the field, but also it's all about the character, bro. You got to have the character because you can have – we're looking at something in the NBA right now where one of the top stars is going to be not playing for a little while because of his character and his decision-making. His play on the court is incredible, and that's Ja Morant. But his decision-making has now got him into a little trouble. Okay. So the character plays just as big as a part as the talent on the field. And I'm not going to go nuts like these guys. Oh, my God, Anthony Richardson ran a 4.4. Great. But can he do that in today's NFL? Because now what we see how the NFL is with these edge rushers and these linebackers for God's sakes, we got just in this combine alone. Edge rushers running 4.5s, 4.4s. Nolan Smith ran a 4.4.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the ball game now. We know that.
But I want to see character.
Here's my thing. You run a 4.4, that's great. How does he look on the field when he's got pads on and against a real offense tackle? Here's what I would say. Overall, I'll end it on this for me and the combine. I got to re-rank my quarterback. CJ Stroud would be 1, Bryce Young would be 2. I'm moving Anthony Richardson to 3, Levis is 4. And I think if Hendon Hooker was healthy and didn't tear his ACL, I think he'd have a legitimate shot to be in that top 4 category. That's just that. Other than that, with the combine, I really don't care. Let's see how the pro days come. Let's see how the team meetings go. And because here's all that's going to adjust once these teams figure out what free agency is. Because listen, today at 4:00, that's really what we want to talk about, the franchise tag.
So we are an hour and 28 minutes.
Here's what you're talking about. You got guys like Derrick Henry, possible trade guys. You know what I mean? Derek Carr is already signed with the Saints. He said Lamar Jackson. What happens with him? Okay, that's what's incredible. Listen, I get it. He wants the money. Every guy wants to get paid. I saw something on a podcast. I want to say something to you. Do you think NFL guys, just from the overall thought, do you think guys more care about the bag or you think they care about the ring more?
Well, I get where players want to get paid, as deservingly so.
Everyone should get paid.
You got to get paid. You have to get paid. But to me, money's great, but I ultimately want to be remembered as a guy. Like the perfect example. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers every year or every time his contract is up gets paid, but it hasn't, like I said, correlate into championships because he gets overpaid. He gets that money. But then Tom Brady, when you look at Brady, he always took the pay cuts with the Patriots, and it also eventually got to him winning Super Bowls. My thing is, anybody like an electrifying player, like an elite quarterback, I should say, like Lamar Jackson, should get paid. But also, what do you get remembered? Let me ask you, Ted. What do you get remembered in the NFL? In the history of the NFL, what do we get, especially quarterback? The quarterback position, the one position that is talked about probably out of any other position in any sports, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. What is the one position that is always talked about probably 24/7? It's the quarterback.
It's always
the
a quarterback.
most important position in all sports. So what do you get remembered for? Do you get remembered for, hold on, I'm going to ask you this. Do you get remembered for being the most highest paid athlete of all time? You may be. But what do you ultimately get remembered for? You ultimately get remembered. What does Eli Manning get remembered?
Here's the one thing, though. Hold on. The only thing is with this, and the reason why I want to interrupt you is because when we talk football, the only person we ever talk about with Super Bowls is about the quarterback. No one talks about LT and about the Super Bowls. No one talks about the Super Bowls with Reggie White. No one talks about the Super Bowls with Orlando Pace or this guy or that guy or run. Does anyone ever talk about the Super Bowls with Evan?
So when it comes to Lamar's question,
hold on. When you talk about running backs, receivers, Jerry Rice, you don't talk about Super Bowls. You talk about his yards. How many catches he has and how many yards he has. Emmitt Smith, all-time leading rusher. You don't say he's a
the Super Bowls are just added.
They're just added. You come down to the quarterbacks, you don't say Dan Marino, oh, he's got 70,000. He's got no touchdowns. Joe Montana.
You mean no Super Bowl?
Okay, he's got 50,000 yards passing. But it doesn't matter. No one knows that. No. You got 4 touchdowns. No one knows that. No, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he's top 5 passer. Do you know that? No. You know what they're going to say? He's got 1 Super Bowl. It's a different ballgame when it comes to quarterbacks. Listen, it's like no other sport. Because in the NBA, though, is different because the NBA is about superstars. The NBA always comes down to superstars, but it's weird because the NBA plays this whole game where it's like, okay, Jordan's got 6, but Russell's got 10. But LeBron's the all-time leading scorer. Wilt's got the most rebounds. John Stockton's got the most assists and steals, but John Stockton's not considered a top 10 player. So it's all over the ballgame when it comes to the NBA. Because it's like, well, if you're going by championships, then Bill Russell should be the best player ever. He's got the most.
Yeah.
But Jordan's not top 2 or 3 in any category. He's not top 2 in assists, rebounds, steals, anything.
Points. No.
Points. Nope. Sorry. Not. But we consider Jordan the best. When it comes down to the quarterback in the NFL, it's about Super Bowl ranks. Listen, everyone, you want to get to 1, but then you get in a different category in 2, and if you get ever in more than 2, now you're in an elite category. The reason why I was cutting you off, too, is because when you talk about the money, you talk about quarterbacks, I pulled this up while you were talking. So this is what I got for this coming season, 2023, right? So I'll just give you a little basic of where we're at and where these quarterbacks rank and then how these teams are going forward and what you would think. So cap hit, what's going to affect this team's year's cap, total cap, right? Watson's 1, Mahomes 2. Mahomes can be whatever he damn well pleases because he's the damn best quarterback in the league. 3 is Dak Prescott. 4 is Josh Allen. 5 is Ryan Tannehill. Other than Josh Allen, and listen, people can make the argument Josh Allen, as much as his 4th, is he deserving? Yeah, he's one of the best quarterbacks. He hasn't won shit, though. So you look at the other guys, Watson, you're with the Browns. Dak Prescott, way overpriced. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, come on. Then you look at these guys, base salary, workout bonuses, contract values, the AAV cap, so what the effects. Aaron Rodgers' cap is 24% of the cap for the Packers.
And that's the thing.
Number 2, hold on. I'll just give you the 5, and then you can take over. Number 2, Russell Wilson, 23.9%. Bad team. Kyler Murray, 22%. Deshaun Watson, 22%. Patrick Mahomes, 22%. But people can't use the Patrick Mahomes argument to these conversations because he's the best quarterback in the league. Okay, there's not an argument for number 1. Sorry, it's not even close. You want to argue about 2, 3, 4? That's fine. All right. He's proven that he's the best quarterback. And he also, if you look at the contract that he's taken care of, he took a elongated contract with maximum money, but he did it on a team-friendly deal where they were able to re-sign players. He structured it to a thing where it's team-friendly. And what I'd say to that is if you look at Derek Carr, did the same thing for the Saints. Saints are in salary cap, but if you look at what he did, it's a structured contract where it's team friendly for the Saints, knowing that he knows he needs other pieces around him to be successful. That's why when it comes down to guys like Daniel Jones, you want $40 million? Go get $40 million. Goodbye a number 2 receiver. Actually, sorry. Goodbye a number 1 receiver. Goodbye a number 2 receiver. Goodbye Saquon Barkley. That's now, Mr. Daniel Jones. Go be one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. You never were that guy.
And here,
that's what I say is, listen, every player, it's easy for me to sit here and go, man, take less. Listen, we ain't taking less. We want as much money as you possibly can.
the hell with that. No, I know you're not taking less. I know that's for damn sure. You're not. You always take the money. Me, I'll take the less. I'm good with that. I'm a loyal ass guy. So I want to win championships. You're a little different. Me and you are different. I know we're brothers and stuff like that. We might look alike. People like to say, "Oh, you guys are twins." We ain't twins. I might be the more handsome one too. But anyways, we know that Ted will definitely take the bag and take the money and run with it. Me, I'm a loyal guy.
No.
So,
I would take the money, but I would structure it.
Yeah, you have to structure it correctly.
Yeah,
yes.
I would take a elongated contract similar to Mahomes. So, like, yeah, I want to get paid. Like Lamar should be like, you know what? You want fully?
But here's my thing about the Baltimore thing, and then we'll get. Hold on.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think this comes down to fully guaranteed.
Here's my thing about Baltimore. The man deserves to get paid. Lamar Jackson has deserved to get paid. I know that his playoff record is 1-3, but look at what he's done. He wins since he's became the official starter for the Baltimore Ravens. He won a league MVP. I get it. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. Well, let's be honest. Since he's coming to the league, not many have. Joe Burrow hasn't won anything yet. Josh Allen hasn't won anything yet. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. The only guy that really has won something is the guy that's number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, hold on. But why is that? There's probably 3 other guys that you would take in that conference over him. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. And you were talking about maybe the 3 best quarterbacks in the league, bro. I mean,
well, that's the thing. This guy is
this
top.
Like when it was the AFC and it was Peyton and Brady, bro.
This guy's a top 6 or 7 quarterback.
And you had Rivers and Roethlisberger, and as great as those 2 guys, and they both should be Hall of Famers. All right, you just couldn't overcome the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady effect. You could not overcome that.
But guess what?
Great.
They still
That's
won.
why when you take a little bit less, like Brady did, you're able to win because you're able to get
They still won. The thing is, yes, that Brady and Peyton dominated the AFC for so long. Ben and Flacco still, even though it took a lot of years, still won those Super Bowl titles. So they can always have their name etched in history. That's the thing. We always talk about the all-time greats. Dan Marino. Dan Marino will never be the greatest quarterback of all time. They never won a championship. Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls. Never won. Never won one. There's a reason why guys like Phillip Rivers, great quarterback throughout his career, never won. But a guy like Eli Manning, who was very heavily criticized in the football world, he's got 2 Super Bowls. He will forever have 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. So in that type of category, him alone, alongside with 6 other quarterbacks, not many have ever done it. So that says something. Lamar Jackson is a top, when healthy, could be as high as a top 5 quarterback, maybe even top 3 quarterback, when healthy and when he's playing at an MVP level. Maybe Lamar, maybe other than Mahomes and Burrow, Lamar's right in that category of Hurts, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and Josh Allen. He's right in that category. So for Baltimore to not pay this man, I get it, he deals with injuries, but to not pay him is absurd, and they're going to play this game, and they might end. You might get 2 first-round picks if you're going to tag him with the non-exclusive tag. I get it. You'll get 2 first-round picks, but let me tell you this. You ain't going to get a quarterback as electrifying and as elite, because he is, no matter what people want to say about Lamar Jackson, he is a top 8 quarterback in the football world. And you're not going to get that, Baltimore, for some time. Maybe you get lucky and you hit the lotto next year and you get one of these quarterbacks if you do decide to move on.
Yeah, but they're not going to get it.
I get it. But without Lamar, that changes drastically. And no, Tyler Huntley, I know. Well, they had a Pro Bowl. Tyler Huntley was not a Pro Bowl quarterback last
What do you
year.
throw, like
Stop
2
it.
touchdown passes?
2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and made the Pro Bowl. Just stop the narrative. You lose Lamar Jackson, you're going to drastically, your whole franchise outlook and the future of your franchise is going to
This
look
is
a whole
also
lot
Baltimore's
differently.
fault for not signing him earlier.
Yep.
Like, sign him before.
And you can't say we want him
You could
here.
have signed him last year.
You
But
can't
here's
say
the-
you can't say we want him here all this time and still want to play this chess match, this butting heads
No,
matchup.
you want him, but you want him at your.
He deserves to get paid. Deserves to
Now,
get paid.
but I don't think anyone's. Okay.
Other than Patrick Mahomes
No,
or
but,
maybe
you
Joe
want-
Burrow,
I'm not worried about
who
the- Trev,
deserves to get
Trev,
paid
I'm
that
not
type
worried
of
about-
money?
I'm not worried about the money. I don't give a shit if it's $400 million.
I'm just
It's
saying.
the fully guaranteed stuff.
I get it.
My thing is this. I wonder, and this is the stuff I wish I knew more about, was if it's fully guaranteed, how does that affect the salary cap? Where does that leave Baltimore? Because they still need to get some receivers, right? And here's the thing. If they put the non-exclusive tag on, right? And we've talked about this a little bit last week. It's whatever the money is. Who cares whatever the franchise? If a team wants him, they got to give up 2 first-round picks. They're also able to offer him a contract. With that being said, so say it was the Jets, right? But I don't think now, because the Jets are already flying to California to go meet Rodgers. Douglas, the whole thing, they're all flying. Sauce is already promoting, already hitting them up.
Yeah, because they're in desperation mode. They don't get Rodgers. The Jets are screwed.
So with that being said, okay, so say it was, I'll just use the Giants because we always talk Giants, right? So say the Giants give up 2 first-round picks and they sign him to a contract. The Baltimore has 7 days to match that contract. So you could, if I'm Baltimore, I'd put the non-exclusive. If a team wants to give up and see what the market is going to give him. Because what if the market says we're not going to give you fully guaranteed? What if that's the thing?
Yeah.
And if someone wants to pay Lamar $250 million guaranteed, then if I'm Baltimore, maybe I let him ride. Maybe I let him ride and I take the 2 first-round picks and see what you can do.
So let's get into the other huge debate that's going on into.
Let's not
This-
get into that. I'm gonna.
What
I
do
know
you
what you're
think-
gonna say.
what do you think
You're
of-
gonna say, you know what's funny?
We have to talk about this, bro. We are an hour and 15 minutes
I
away
know.
from the franchise tag deadline.
And is
the
anyone
Giants
else around?
and the-
Because I keep scrolling and I can't
There's
find
nothing.
1
There-
PM news.
yes, we have to stay on top of the
franchise
Twitter
tag.
world because right now there is a lot going on. We don't know
There's
how it's
nothing
going.
going on.
So Lamar
It's
Jackson-
the most boringest
so-
franchise tag.
So Lamar Jackson, for obvious reasons, deserves to get paid, whether it's going to be by the Ravens or someone else. Let's get into the other elephant in the room, Daniel Jones. All the reports we've heard for weeks now is the money we've heard yearly is between 45 mil and 40 mil. It's a little less than 40 mil. Either way, he's going to try to get top dollar
The number starts
after
with-
his season. So I think yesterday was a huge day, Ted, because you look at that. I think that could have been the best possible, I guess, explanation, reasoning for the Giants to have, or a backup for the Giants to kind of have an exclamation, like a point that you want to make. Look, we want you, Daniel. We do, because you got us to the playoffs with the team that you had surrounded you with weapons. We didn't get to see maybe your full-on talents passing the ball wise. I know he only had 15 touchdowns, but then you look at what yesterday happened. Derek Carr got traded or got signed with the Saints, got a big payday. Geno Smith, after his comeback player of the year type year and maybe a rejuvenated career, who knows? We'll see how this year plays out. But then he gets his big contract. He gets his big payday. So you look at those 2 quarterbacks. And Giant fans, we have to be realistic. I get it. I've like I said, Giant Twitter, man. You go on Twitter, and Giant fans are just.
I'm just reading some.
They are some.
They're like, pay this man.
They are. Yeah, boo this man. No, they literally are some toxic. Other than maybe like Dallas fans and like Philly fans, the New York Giant fans, they're toxic fans.
Yeah,
man.
because they want.
They don't even know what they want. They don't know who they are. That's the problem. So I get it. Keep an eye on Atlanta.
There was a report saying The Falcons are very real interest in trading for Lamar.
Of course they do, because they don't buy into their
Well, they don't
But
have a quarterback.
But here's the thing, and the NFC is wide open right now because we know the quarterback and that is a lot different than in the AFC. But Daniel Jones, we get it. People love him. People don't like him. People don't think he's a franchise quarterback. Some people do. That narrative for me personally, I know me and you are different on this. Me personally is still up in the air because I want to say that yes, last year didn't turn the ball over. He finally looked like Dable. Maybe that's a huge credit to Dable and Kafka. But the 15 touchdowns, here's my thing. When you look in the mirror, honestly, Giant fans, I'm even talking to Giant fans. When you look in the mirror and you say Daniel Jones, is he in the same breath? I'm not going to say Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is in a league of his own. Is he in the breath of top 8 to top 5 quarterback, honestly? Or, Ted, I'll ask you, or is he in the breath of Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, and Derek Carr, Dak Prescott? Guys like that. That's the serious question that Giant fans have to ask. Look, you could say whatever you want. I love Daniel Jones. I hate Daniel Jones. I'm over with him. Forget about him. No, you have to really look in the mirror because, honestly, this is a quarterback-driven league, and the only way you're going to win is by trying to keep all your pieces together, too. You sign Daniel Jones to a long-term deal. Like Ted said, you could say goodbye to a lot of the pieces, and you could say goodbye. Sorry, Giant fans, but you could say goodbye to Saquon Barkley. If you really want to keep your team intact, and just go ask Aaron Rodgers, go ask Dak Prescott, when you take big paydays, you're going to eventually lose some of your big playmakers. Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, bye-bye. Dalton Schultz, bye-bye. All these guys that made these quarterbacks. Now, Aaron Rodgers is a different story because he's an all-time great. But look what he did without Devontae Adams. At his worst year ever. Dak Prescott. That's all I'm trying to say, Giant fans, is that you can call us haters, whatever you want. Look, I'm a Giant fan at heart. I will bleed blue forever. I want to win championships. Do we honestly look in the mirror and say, Daniel Jones, this year? Yes, he probably does because there's really no quarterback on the market.
15 touchdowns.
There's no quarterback on the market this offseason, maybe other than Lamar, and they're not going to trade their first two picks for this year and next year for Lamar Jackson. It's not happening. So, I know, of course. But is he good enough to win you a Super Bowl?
No, not even close. I just did the math. I'm talking to myself. You probably think I'm a weirdo over here, but as you're talking,
Ted, I've known that I've known that for 35 years, Ted. You're a weirdo.
I was ringing the names of AFC quarterbacks that I would took over, and I came up with 9 in the AFC.
Well, other than like the obvious ones,
I came up with 9 in the AFC.
Okay, the obvious ones. Who are the other ones? Other than the obvious ones,
I'm not. You want me to read them off in my head right now?
Other than the obvious ones: Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert.
I mean, I had.
Okay, Lawrence and Lamar right now. So who's the other?
Hold on. I went AFC East. I was like, okay, and you could think I'm stupid, but before he got hurt, Tua and Josh Allen. Tua was lighting up the league and was an MVP candidate. NFC North, Deshaun Watson, Lamar, and Joe Burrow, all better than him. NFC South, Trevor Lawrence, better. No one else in the South stinks. The West, I'm taking Herbert, Mahomes, and Derek Carr over him. That's 9.
Derek Carr's not in the AFC anymore.
I'm not talking about that. NFC, Hurts, Dak at the time, you probably would have still took him over Daniel Jones. That's 2 more. That's 11. NFC North, you would take Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff. That's another 2. That's 13. Kirk Cousins is the cutoff line. Brady was better. Brady was better than him. And then you would have had Stafford, Murray, Geno, all better than him. And honestly, here's the thing. The Brock Purdy thing is interesting, but I also look at it this way. Daniel Jones is playing with Ted Keys and Joe Schmo down the street and Pat Clapp. And
I'm a pretty good football player. I'll catch the ball.
And Brock Purdy's playing with all pros all over the field. Got one of the best left tackles, one of the best all dual threats in Deebo Samuel. Great receiver, number 2, Brandon Ayuk. One of the better tight ends in the league. So you got Christian McCaffrey. You have one of the best play callers in the league. I'll tell you one thing. You can let Saquon go. You can let Daniel Jones go. Go trade your 2 first-round picks. Go get Lamar Jackson for the New York Giants. There you go. because hey Jets, you got Aaron Rodgers, good. We'll get Lamar. No, that would be exciting. And I think Lamar and Dable would be awesome. Listen, I like Daniel Jones. I said like. I don't love. There's a difference. Here's what I would say. You know what? While you were talking, you know what came to my head?
Yeah, here we go.
I'm whack. You know what Daniel Jones reminded me of? Like the 80s song, Simon Rockwell. Somebody's watching me. Only reason why he was great.
Simon Rockwell? No, it's Raquel. Raquel Michael Jackson. Yo, if you're going to say something, get the damn right, bro. Don't make me correct your ass.
Okay, but the song Someone's Watching Me, you know why it became a one-hit wonder? Because Michael Jackson was the background singer. So you know why Daniel Jones became? Because Brian Dable was his background singer. So if I'm the Giants and I have as much faith as I think the Giants franchise does, call Daniel Jones bluff, franchise him. Call him. Give up the 2 first, put the non-exclusive $32.5 million. No one's going to give up 2 first-round picks for Daniel Jones. No one's going to give up 1 first-round pick for Daniel Jones. Sorry. You're not that good, bro. I get it. You won a playoff game against the worst defense in football. You had 3 good games. The Colts, who were garbage, when an intern coach that came off of the ESPN streets, all right? And I love Saturday. I love him in the, when he was on Get Up and stuff. Loved it. But they had no head coaching experience. That team was falling apart. I mean, they were a disaster. Yeah. All right. Minnesota had the worst defense in football. All right, great. You had 3 good games. Wow. You threw 15 touchdown passes, bro. Like, and people, their excuse would be like, well, you had no one to throw to. Bro, if excuses are like buttholes, everyone's got one. All right. Stop making excuses. He was not that good. You told me a stat yesterday. I was trying to be PT, bro.
That's great.
Correct, right? You said something like, well, how many games did he throw over 230? Listen, this is not a hatred on Daniel Jones. All right. I was rooting and hollering and screaming for him when he was against Minnesota. It was great. But let's look inside the rearview window. Is he really that good? Is Daniel Jones that good? Is he worth $40 million? That's what it comes down to. It's not that we don't want Daniel Jones. It's the money. I thought what ESPN has done, and guys, I don't think I've heard anyone say anything wrong about Daniel Jones. It's not about Daniel Jones, the player. It's about the money, bro. The number he wants to start with is 4. Everyone else, except for the stupid Giant fans, it's got to be 3. And I think, I told you last night, I think whatever Geno got and with Derek Carr, that should be the realistic number for Derek. And I think you were trying to get at that. What those 2 guys signed yesterday, that should be a realistic contract for what Daniel Jones' expectation. Sorry, Derek Carr is better than you. You haven't proved it yet, bro. You're a one-hit wonder. You had 15 touchdowns passes. 7 rushing. Great. You didn't turn the ball over. That's what a quarterback's supposed to do. And you know what's crazy? To think about if the Giants gave him a 5th-year option, like if he was even decent the first 3 years, it was only $22 million
at the time. They made the smart decision because of that.
But to think you're worth $40 million is blasphemy, bro.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And I just feel like this is what will happen. It will be and I told you this. This will be Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
Yes,
you pay him. You pay him. No, you get a long-term deal done, and then you eventually franchise Saquon, like the Tennessee Titans did at the time. They locked up Ryan Tannehill long-term, and then they franchised Derrick Henry at the time. I think it was $12.5 million at the time, which is crazy. And then they signed him to a long-term deal, and look how that's panned out for that team. That team is getting rid of all big contracts. Taylor Lewan's gone, but Dupree's gone. Now Derrick Henry is on the trade block. Ryan Tannehill, we don't know what they're going to do with him. Are they going to draft a quarterback this year? Are they going to trade up and draft one of these quarterbacks? Are they going to stick with Malik Willis? Like, look at that team right there. That team was at the time from 2019 to last year, not this year, but last year, that was their peak. They got to the AFC title game. They were the number 1 seed last year, and look what it was. To me, when I look at Daniel Jones, I look at just a slightly more athletic version than Ryan Tannehill. And that, to me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. You can hate us all you want. I don't really care. That is what Daniel Jones is. For 4 years. Like, that's the funny thing about this whole situation. When we look at 2 of the quarterbacks in this year's quarterback class, not talking draft, talking about NFL quarterbacks. Geno Smith and Daniel Jones. A year ago at this time, Daniel Jones did not get the 50-year option. He got declined. At one point, this offseason, for both of these franchises, this past offseason, there was one point that we were maybe, just maybe considering that Drew Lock and Tyrod Taylor were going to be the quarterbacks of these two franchises. How times have changed, but still, like you look at those two guys, we can't be like I know what he wants. You deserve to get paid, man. I get it. You deserve your money, but let's be realistic, bro. If you want to keep everything intact, if you want to have the best possibility of trying to win a Super Bowl, then by you asking for $45 million per year, that ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the Giants are torn in this situation because, yes, they have stated many of times that Daniel Jones is their guy, but they do not want to budge, and they want to not give in to his demands of this $45 million. If the Giants do, I'm sorry, Giant fans, I see a Tennessee Titans type run where, yes, you might get to an AFC title game. Yes, you may even surprisingly be a number one seed. But if you think you're going to win a Super Bowl with a guy that up until last year was probably in the 20s or lower 20s of quarterbacks coming into the season, if you think that he's going to drastically become Josh Allen or these type of guys, these elite guys, you just know it. You just have that.
He's never going to be
He's
those
got the
guys.
talent. He's got the talent to succeed in this league because his talent is aligned with how the NFL quarterback is going now.
I know, but here's the thing, and we talked about this. The only way for the Giants to be successful is to put weapons around him.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying you almost want
I know
to
if you take the bag, if you take the bag, you're not going to be able to get the pieces, and then there's going to be even more pressure on you. Here's the thing. I don't know if you saw this. Mike Garofalo, Seahawks deal with Geno Smith has a base value of $25 million per season, 3 years, $75 million, with $40 million fully guaranteed at signing. So when he signs, he'll get $40 million. Smith will earn $28 million in his first year of the deal. He has $30 million in incentives, probably if you play, Pro Bowl, other things. So,
that would be the most ideal. The most ideal deal for
I
him.
get it. He's also 32 too, you know, and he's much older. But it's just one of those things where I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, we are 60 minutes away.
60 minutes away.
Okay, it's really going down. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking. Cardinals are looking this for a second round pick, or maybe with a conditional pick or player for DeAndre Hopkins. I think the Giants end up franchising him. I don't think they get the deal done. I don't think they get the deal done. Unless Daniel Jones says, screw it, let's just get the deal done.
Yeah,
we're 59 minutes away, bro. Like, how all of a sudden, what, in 59 minutes, all of a sudden, we're just going to start hurry up. Like, oh, my God, hurry up. You know what? We'll just give it to you. Like, I don't think the Giants should not break.
I don't think Joe Shane should, at least if it's a team-friendly deal, if it's a contract that is going to work out for the future for this team, then okay, do it. But if it's a contract that looks like it's going to damage this team and possibly really, blow it up in the sense of losing guys like Xavier McKinney down the line, Big Dex. Like, you're still going to have to sign Big Dex. You're going to have to sign Andrew Thomas, 2 all-pro talents and 2 very important positions for the Giants. You're going to have to lock those guys up long-term, and they're going to get locked up long-term. So Daniel Jones, some people will say, well, by next year when Jalen Hurts gets paid and Lawrence and Herbert and Burrow, it won't be as bad at the time, but now we're just looking. And I get it.
But here's the thing that we
can't
quarterback
market. I get it. It's the quarterback market, and this is what's happening in today's world.
We can't progress this year. We end up taking a step back. All right, and here's the other thing. Warren Sharp tweeted out this. If Daniel Jones reaches a deal with the New York Giants, he will become the first quarterback in history to sign for $20+ million a year after playing just 15+ games and throwing less than 20 touchdowns. There hasn't been another quarterback to sign for even $10 million a year after playing 12+ games and throwing only 15 touchdowns as Jones did. That's the numbers. The numbers speak for himself. And I think, like you said when we were talking about this before, you look at those 2 contract tests, right? Derek Carr didn't really have a great season last year. So Daniel Jones can be like, well, I took my team to the playoffs with a less of a talented team or a lesser of a talented team, played better than him, turned the ball over less. I will get better. I'm younger. I'm more athletic. Pay me now. I will be a better Derek Carr in 5 years. I can see that. I could say Geno Smith. If you asked me last year, Geno Smith or Daniel Jones, I mean, Geno Smith did throw for 30-plus touchdowns, was the comeback player of the year, did throw for 4,000-plus yards.
At one point last year, he might have been backup to Drew Lock, too.
Well, he had a great season.
Imagine that.
Well, we were also looking at, oh, my God, before the season last year, what about Daniel Jones?
I know. I just said, no, that's what I said.
I know. But what were we saying about Daniel Jones last year?
I get it.
It's a tough situation, and here's the thing. I think whatever happens with the Giants, Saquon ends up being not a Giant, and that's going to be the sad part of it all.
Sadly, sometimes.
But maybe the Giants signed Barkley for a deal afterwards, because here's the thing: I think the running back market could be in with a lot of good run. You're going to have a lot of good running backs out there. Say Zeke gets cut, you're going to have Miles Sanders. There's going to be some running backs out there, and who really? Maybe Joe Mixon get cuts for the Bengals. Maybe takes a pay. You don't know what the market's going to be. It's still early. And teams don't really want to pay running backs.
It's just unfortunate because of how everything kind of unfolded for the Giants. I mean, in a good way, like the Giants made the playoffs. They became some sort of relevancy back into the NFL. And it's like the worst possible.
Lamar got franchised.
Yeah, that was obvious.
No, it was $1 million. They gave him the non-exclusive tag. So teams can go get him.
That was not. I knew that was going to happen.
Just came out a minute ago.
I know. I'm watching it right now. I got NFL Network on. That's not surprising.
I don't have the NFL Network.
I'll put the NFL Network on. That's not a surprise to me, because that was all what the reports were going to say. They were going to give him a non-exclusive.
So now let the bidding war begin.
So yes, teams like Washington, teams like Atlanta, teams like Carolina, teams that need quarterbacks that are willing to feel that they are a piece away, or maybe they just want a quarterback. They have an elite franchise quarterback. Then okay, Lamar Jackson has officially become available for the takers. My quick thing about Derek Carr, too, I know people like ridicule him and think he's not great at quarterback. Let's just be honest. He was a quarterback for probably the most incompetent franchise, other than maybe the Cleveland Browns, of the 21st century.
$32 million is the non-exclusive tag. 32.5.
Yes.
So who's going to give him? Listen, 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson, and of course now all I do is hit the refresh on Twitter, and now everything is Lamar. Every single person, PFF. I mean,
you know who I wish Bet had some first-round picks, but they don't, because they decided to trade for some guy up into the NFL draft that needs a quarterback right now.
Miami.
Nah, San Francisco 49ers.
No, I wouldn't want. I don't think that fits their system. I don't think they.
Are you kidding? Can you imagine the versatility, the speed on that team with McCaffrey and?
I just don't. Yeah, but I don't think he fits the system. Like I said, Mac Jones was the guy that I think Kyle Shanahan wanted, not Trey Lance.
Well, if they did, guess what? They would have taken him, but they didn't. So they obviously didn't want him that much. Derek Carr, but I know Derek Carr gets a lot of hate, but I think Derek Carr going to the Saints, I think that's I think it's a solid move, and I think he goes to now a more competent franchise.
Do what Trev said. Sign Baker Mayfield. Well, Daniel Jones go. See what they want to pay him. They got the same numbers.
Can you imagine if the Giants signed Baker Mayfield?
Got the same numbers: passer rating, passing yards, passing touchdowns, turnovers.
All I know is we are 54 minutes away from some sort of news breaking. Something is eventually going to happen. Something is going to happen when we're off the air, like always, Ted. Something is going to happen within the New York Giants franchise. Whether that's franchising Daniel Jones, locking him up long-term, or we could be seeing the end of Saquon Barkley.
Watch. We're going to get off the show, and all of a sudden Daniel Jones will have a...
Should we just stay on just to wait?
Just do nothing?
It's like just look at the camera. At least we're not ugly. At least we could stay. At least we're answering.
The problem is it's 3:07. I got to go to work in 23 minutes, but...
Can you believe that? Our schedules got to work. Got to love it.
I mean,
it's a wild time right now. I mean, you got to just think about it.
Hey, look at that. Giants name a top fit for their safety position, Jordan Poyer. That means you let Daniel Jones walk. Listen, I can't believe that we're having a discussion about Daniel Jones and what we're paying him. But it's crazy. Absolutely
It's
not. I gotta try to
blasphemy.
pick. Okay, I gotta see what's going on. They got to be talking
It's
Daniel Jones right
blasphemy.
now.
It's blasphemy. It's just like I said. It's a wild time, Ted. It's.
I mean, come on. I mean, we're talking about Daniel Jones and Lamar Jackson. How are we having the same conversation? Oh, look, they're all talking about Lamar. They're all freaking out. Chris Broussard, Nick Wright. They're all pissed off.
Daniel. Oh my God! I just saw. They went to NFL Network. They had new right now. Giants and Daniel Jones working on finalizing a contract before franchise tag deadline. Are the Giants really going to lock?
I saw 4 years and 150 million.
So that's under 40 per year. So that's what, like 30. That's like 37.5 mil.
Yeah.
So it's in the Derek Carr, Geno Smith range. It's not bad. I'm just saying though, if you want to get your weapons and you want to have a chance to really showcase your talents, then you gotta try to have some sort. Just look at Tom Brady. Look at the team friendly deals that he always happen.
What is Baltimore going to do though?
They're gonna have first
You
round
signing
picks.
Roquan Smith.
They're gonna have first round picks. They're gonna get the 8th pick in the draft because the Atlanta Falcons are gonna go trade, and then they're gonna take, and then they're gonna take a quarterback.
Anthony Richardson.
And Anthony Richardson is going to be the starting quarterback. Wowzers. I wanted to say quickly about that. Those two quarterbacks, I think Levis and Anthony Richardson need I would say about a year to develop. Go to a team like Seattle, a team that has already a quarterback in place where you can just sit him or learn. Where I think Stroud and Bryce Young are going to be inserted as starting quarterbacks right off the bat.
Oh yeah. I mean,
we're going to see what happens, bro. We're going to see what happens. We're 51 minutes away.
Joe Shea met with running back today.
We're 51 minutes away.
Now they're talking about Barkley.
I know. I'm watching NFL Network right now.
I know. Whatever.
So, well, I guess we're gonna have to sign off because Ted has to go to work.
Daniel Jones, great. We're gonna sign Daniel Jones, and the Jets are gonna get Aaron Rodgers. And Atlanta.
You know what the great thing about that whole thing is? The Jets still won't win a Super Bowl.
They'll be better than the Giants.
Okay, they're going to try to win a Super Bowl.
The Giants will be the third place team in the division. The Jets will be winning their division.
Not if Washington trades for Lamar.
I mean, I don't know if he will. I think Atlanta makes sense, but who has the money? That's the thing. Who has the money too to sign him?
Atlanta.
So the timeline for
Atlanta does, right? They're the second.
So
they're second.
The timeline for Lamar Jackson ahead. This was Phil Yates just put out. Other teams can make him an offer as of next Wednesday, March 15th.
Oh, so they can't even give him. They can trade for him right now, right?
Offer sheet elsewhere. The Ravens could match it and retain Jackson, or decline it and receive 2 first-round picks.
Lamar Jackson's not going to be in a Baltimore Ravens uniform.
That's great. Love it.
And I said at the beginning of the year, I know everybody before the offseason started, I know everybody was saying, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that." I tell you what, you get an opportunity to get a guy like Lamar Jackson on your franchise, and he comes to the NFC. If he goes to Atlanta, does Atlanta become the best team in the NFC South then?
Maybe. You got money. That offense with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Lamar would be nice. They got a good
and Tyler Algiero. Yeah, he had a hell of a.
And they had another running back. They had 2 decent running backs.
They still got CPAT too. I think they still have CPAT.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that NFC South becomes a whole lot more interesting if Lamar goes there.
Well, and here's the other thing: who do you have more trust in, Lamar or Derek Carr? The Saints still have pieces, but who knows what happens with Alvin Kamara in that court case and everything else? What happens with Michael Thomas? What happens with the Saints?
They got all that salary cap issues. I mean, if I'm Atlanta, I'm going to try to find a middle linebacker, trying to get a safety, trying to add defensive pieces, a pass rusher if you can. And if you could trade for Lamar, you go do it.
Oh, and the Lakers are retiring Paul Gasol's jersey tonight.
The GOAT, PG-16. Man, I love Paul Gasol. That's my guy.
Lamar and everyone, of course, now everyone's thinking Atlanta, but it makes sense.
Well, remember Atlanta was all in on Deshaun Watson last year too, until Cleveland came out of nowhere and traded for him. So Atlanta's been looking for a quarterback. I know they drafted Ritter last year, but I don't think they're going to fly with him. So he played all right, but realistically, you're not winning a Super Bowl with Desmond Ridder. Sorry if I'm hurting people's feelings.
Yeah, that's funny. Duke has won 9 of the last 12 ACC Rookies of the Year.
Did you say Duke?
Austin Rivers, Oliver Hanlon, Jabari Parker, Jaleel.
Who was that? Oliver Hanlon? What was that?
Hanlon, Hanlan. Hanlon. Hanlon, Jabari Parker, Jaleel Okafor, Brandon Ingram, Dennis Smith, Marvin Bagley III, Zion Wilson, Verdon Carey
Dennis
Jr.
Smith didn't go there. Dennis Smith went to.
I know.
North
I'm just
Carolina.
reading the players: Scotty Barnes, Paolo Banchero, and Kyle Flipkowski. So maybe Oliver.
I don't know what the hell you're talking. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Duke has won 9 of the last 12 ACC Rookies of the Year. So Austin Rivers, yes. Jabari Parker, yes. Okafor, yes. Brandon Ingram, yes.
Tatum didn't win?
Yes. Zion, Carey, Paolo Banchero, and Kyle. So only guys that have won it is Scotty Barnes.
Tatum didn't win? Wow.
Who?
I'm surprised Tatum.
Tatum wasn't that good yet.
Tatum's a star. He's a superstar, bro. Don't hate on him. Don't hate. He's only 25. Don't hate on JT. Lakers, go get Lakers.
Daniel Jones did.
I love how we're just like staying. I love how we're just staying on, just waiting because we're just waiting to see if.
I love our boy who used to be Nolan Rich goes. Maybe we should send a second play to go see Lamar.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Jets don't go do that either. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised.
Lamar Jackson can't talk to the Miami Dolphins until after the 2023 draft. At that point, the former will be able to negotiate with them and sign an offer sheet. Before that, Miami's off limits because they don't have a first-round pick.
Boy, I bet they love tampering with Tom Brady.
Man, they could have had 2 first-round picks and all those things, man.
Good. Now you can start. Now you can. Yeah, good. See ya. Well, a lot's gonna happen. I know that Ted's got to get going. We got to let go because I know we want to stay on and just hopefully see something happen within the next few minutes.
I gotta go,
but I have to go.
Boo this man!
Boo this man!
I got so excited because I just saw like breaking news and it was really
breaking news.
It was Lamar Jackson news. I'm like, ESPN, you're a little delayed.
Yeah, ESPN always delayed. Well,
it was fun doing business with you, kid. Have a nice day. Talk to you later.
Adam Wainwright starting game 1 for the U.S. baseball on Saturday night.
Saturday, 2:00.
Yeah, so he's starting.
I'm excited for that.
Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson. What a choice for the Jets.
We got We got the Big East tournament this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be great. I'm excited.
Got the ACC tournament, Duke. Looks like they're going to
win. No one cares about the ACC tournament because all the ACC teams suck.
Dude,
no one's winning.
The Big East has been irrelevant.
Stop.
Up until a few years ago. Get out of here.
Don't make me call Chaz.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear Chaz. He got nothing to say. V's down. V's down.
He's got more championships than Duke in the last 10 years. Sorry.
Yeah? Guess what? Who's a better program historically?
Villanova.
Get the hell.
UConn.
Okay.
You know, Duke don't want to play UConn.
UConn fans getting all excited after one good year. I love it.
We're the New York Jets. We're on fire, baby.
Don't worry. They'll blow it in the 9th. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we wanted to stay on.
Come on, I got to go.
We are 44. So players designated with the franchise tag: Lamar Jackson, Pollard, Josh Jacobs, Evan Ingram, Deron Payne. So those are the guys. Yes, 44 minutes away from the news that could shake the New York Giants franchise for some time. Time will tell. We will see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but that's not a good thing to do. If they franchise him, they're not going to be able to make. They're not going to be able to make the moves that they wanted to make with all the cap space that they have.
Well, maybe then we'll give Saquon a long-term
Going to have to restructure some contracts. Maybe Big Leonard Williams. Maybe we can restructure.
Probably
some
lose him. See you later.
Oh boy! Like I said, we are
our quarterback for the future. Can't wait. So excited. Thank you. Bye.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are Keys of the City. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Keys of the City. We'll see you next episode. Big news in the next 43 minutes. We are out.
You are now in tune to the Keys to the City podcast.